sleeping is about a third of our life. It's important to sleep between 7 and 8 hours a night. Now that is, research says the average adult needs about 7.5 hours. So sometimes you might need close to 8, other times, you might be waking up with 6 hours, but on average, 7 to 8 hours of sleep. If you're consistently getting less than that, you will be in a deficit situation that will have an adverse effect on your health. And they research studies have shown that if you're short an hour a night over the course of the year, that'll lead to 15 to 20 pounds of extra weight. Why is that? Because it messes with our hormonal balance. It really does. And so the hormones that play in sleep are cortisol. Cortisol is the, kind of like the fight or flight hormone. And so if your cortisol is jacked up, it's very difficult to sleep. And we've all had those nights where we're like, God, I'm so exhausted, but I just can't fall asleep because there's like this humming going on in our body. Well, that's because cortisol is just jacked and flowing through your system. And adrenaline as well is another one that will keep you awake. The hormones that will put you to sleep are, melatonin, and some of the like dopamine, some of the feel-good hormones. Okay, will help put you to sleep. So that's why making love before bed is actually good for helping you to sleep. That's one tip. But I'm not going to get into the rest of the tips just yet. I want to hit a few more points. So when we have a sleep deficit and the wrong types of hormones are being funneled into our body for whatever reason, I'll get into some reasons why that will happen, then we also have an imbalance in our testosterone and estrogen levels. And so, like they did one study, Dr. Parsley did a study with the SEALs, and he found that these hardcore Navy SEALs who were literally getting like 3 to 4 hours of sleep a night consistently had the testosterone level of like a 14-year-old girl. And it was really, really messing with them. And so he had to re-educate them and help the SEALs set up conditions where the guys were going to get enough sleep, because it really did degrade performance over time. All right, so what types of things hurt our ability to sleep well? Caffeine, for sure. Okay, so I mentioned in the fueling, fresh water should be your primary drink of choice. Well, if you drink caffeine, limit it. Consider going down to a decaf or part decaf, and only drink caffeine in the morning. If you're prone to drinking caffeine in the afternoon, especially after like 2 o'clock, then it will affect your sleep. It takes, I don't know the exact stats, but it takes hours of metabolic processing to get all the caffeine from a normal cup of coffee. I think it's like 6 hours to get the 50 milligrams or so of caffeine out of your system. So if you're drinking caffeine after 2 or 3 in the afternoon, it will affect your sleep. So that's bad. Also alcohol, because of alcohol and sugar together. If you're eating sweets in the evening, if you're eating any type of carbohydrate or juice or alcohol, within an hour or two of bed, then it's going to elevate your insulin, it's going to elevate your cortisol levels, and you're going to have difficulty sleeping. If you have difficulty sleeping and you're taking a sleep aid drug that is not something that's natural, so like Ambien, then you're really, really messing with yourself, okay? Because, one of the things about sleep is it takes us, there's 3 cycles that we go through, and the third one is the deep, deep sleep. And that's where, essentially growth hormones and repair takes place. And when you take a sleep drug, like an over-the-counter drug, like Ambien, then essentially, instead of putting you into that deep, deep sleep, you only go into the second level, and it's almost like you're being knocked unconscious. And so if you're taking that every night because it's a crutch or something like that, then essentially you're knocking yourself unconscious every night. And when you wake up, you feel groggy and you feel, less than you should, because you've never dipped into that third level of sleep where you're doing the repair that your body needs. Okay, and so you're never, the growth hormones aren't being produced and you aren't really getting the recovery that you need. And so you actually wake up feeling depleted, even if you feel like you slept because of the unconscious state that you were in. So bad idea, bad idea.